Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday, the 17th of December, and I want to talk about good and evil and really what our reaction should be to that. What is it we need to do right now, faced with the insanity of this world? Now, this idea of good and evil. I'm still reading this book. I'm nearly at the end of it. John Lamlash, Not in His Image. It is a very good book. And I just want to say right from the start, I am not just regurgitating what he's saying. Yeah? I think it is I heard it in Vedanta, where there are three pillars of knowing. One is reason, one is scripture, and one is reality, the experienced reality. And with this book at the moment, okay, for me that is scripture because I'm reading it, but I am applying my own reason, and I'm most certainly looking at reality as we know it now to see what the thinking has created, the outcome that it has created. So, no, I'm not just regurgitating what he's saying. But in this book, there's also a large part of it is the Gnostic cosmology, the story of the mysteries of Sophia falling from the pleroma into the solid world, and the eons and the absolute source, the beginning. I'm not actually going with that in a big way, to be quite honest. Because I think they were out of their depth. I think we are out of our depth when we're contemplating these things, going all the way back to the beginning. I think they had knowledge, like they had a lot of puzzle pieces. They were trying to create a picture out of that. Whether they actually had enough pieces to create a picture, that's another question. And I have a feeling that a lot of where there were gaps in the knowledge, that they filled that in with imagination, which is not a terribly good way of doing things. And actually to look at the problem that we have in the world at the moment, we do not have to go all the way back to the source. And that is actually, to my mind, a complete misdirection. Yeah? You're driving people to go all the way back to the source. Let's find the source. Let's find the creator, whatever. Even though it is already clearly understood it as something that we cannot comprehend anyway. So what are we doing? But it is driving us past the point where the source of everything that is happening right now is. And that was not in the beginning. It was not there in the beginning. It came into being later on, but by going all the way back to source, we're running straight past the point of what it is we should actually see, know, become aware of, start reasoning about. Right, and I think the point is really in this book, and that is the idea of good and evil. There was a discussion going on about good and evil between the Christian, first the Judaic and then the Christian, out of that the Christian perspective, and then the old pagan mystery schools that had a completely different idea. So if we just look at those two ideas that came up against each other at the time, the Christian idea, and that is again why I'm not saying I'm just regurgitating, because I can see that thought in this world right now. Yeah? And I can see what it is creating. The kind of person it creates, if the person takes that in as truth, and then what, again, from the inside out, what the material person will then do, driven by those ideas. Anyway, so the Christian idea was the idea that both good and evil emanate from the same source, and that it is, in fact, all love. And you can see that in this world. Not only the Christians, but notably the New Agers. Yeah? Everything is love. everything. Bad things happen. No, it is just, that you have to believe harder that it is love. God is challenging you to really believe on His love. Yeah, you need to overcome this idea that it is something bad, because it isn't. It's all light. It's all coming from the same source. And really, the worse it gets, again, go deeper into the darkness so you see the light, because the darkness is emanating from the same point as the light. In fact, it is the light, which is lunacy. Yeah, but there's a lot of thinking based on that in this world. As I said, not only Christians, but New Agers that full on believe that. And then you come to a point where when something bad happens, or you have negative emotions, you have anxiety, you might even have physical pain. Oh no, that is just Satan lying to you. Bad does not exist. It does not exist. It's all light. You just need to see that. Okay. So that was a Christian perspective, and that was coupled with a more lunatic idea of that everything is not even emanating from a source, but that the source itself is in a being, in a creator being, and then all the love, so to speak, is emanating from that being, which is nuts. And that madness is definitely in this world. Now, the old pagan mystery schools had a completely different view of that. Yeah, yes, they did believe on one point of emanation, and I would agree on that as well. But what is actually in all the layers before you get to here, whether we can know that or understand that from where we're at now, that's a different question. And actually, we have a more pressing problem right here and now. Yeah, I don't think we'll find the answer to that all the way out there. So again, the pagan mystery schools thought that everything was emanating from one source, and yes, that source was love, and it was good, and it is the underlying energy that creates everything. Yeah? But they thought that in the created part, like humans, like maybe if there's others out there, the created parts, in them is ignorance, not fully understanding the light that they are in, and that it is the ignorance that is in the created part that creates evil. Evil comes into being through ignorance. Evil does not emanate from the original source, but it is a product of ignorance. So that would drive you then to, as a being, that if there is something wrong around you, that you don't just dismiss that as an illusion or Satan's trick or something like that, because everything is love, but that you know that bad is coming into being through ignorance, that there's something you are ignorant of that is creating the bad circumstances, and that you need to seek the knowledge that would rectify the darkness that is around you. Yeah? So it is not ignore the pain or say it's all good or the more pain the better. But pain means there is something wrong, there is something you do not know about the truth of the Creator. And you need to find that truth. You need to create a change inside of yourself. And then the darkness will go away. But that, again, it requires something on your part that you must do. You must seek the truth. Again, Christians and all the Judeo-Christian, the three Abrahamic religions, they are no longer seeking any truth. They think they've got it. They know it all. That's the only truth in the universe. The one Creator God, and He is love, and everything is love. So they're not seeking anything. In fact, they're not supposed to seek. They're not supposed to reason, especially Christians, under the threat of hellfire and eternal damnation. Do not think for yourself. Don't. Just do as you're told. It's coming from the one God. And He's love and He's the only truth. And you do whatever He tells you to do, knowing that it is good. Yeah, even if you're in blood up to your eyebrows, it's good, it's love. Just know that. Right. So were the two different ways of looking at it. And again, out of that, it would create a person that would have a different perspective of what it is actually doing and what is happening around itself. Now, at that time, as I said, the mystery schools, they were academics in their ivory towers, very much in their ivory towers. Yeah, they didn't take part in politics. They did not, in any big way, engage with the material aspects of the world. But they were just, as I said, floating there in their thoughts and in their knowledge. But they were people of reason. As I say, academics, scientists, people of reason. And within the mystery schools themselves, they were reasoning with each other. I would say in many different mystery schools had different views. Yeah, and there was arguments going on all the time. But they were academic arguments on the level of reason. They were reasonable people. And I mean, I read in this book and I read in other books that, they already saw the danger in the Judeo-Christian thinking and in that mindset, what it would produce. Yeah? And there were arguments going on all the time. But here goes. The mystery schools, I think, really believed that reason would prevail. The light of reason would prevail, that it would shine into the darkness and that darkness would actually get a hold of it. But it obviously didn't, still doesn't. The light of reason will not shine into that darkness because the darkness it's sitting in its own knowledge like in concrete. This is the only truth and nothing shall shine into it. In fact, if anything does try to shine into it, that's falsehood, and must be, because we are inside of the only truth. So you cannot reason. You cannot reason with that beast. You can't. It's completely deluded. And it believes its own delusion to be light, love. So the mystery schools tried to reason. That was their way. That was their only way, the only way they had. And they had no defense against the violence that came out of that delusion. That was Christianity and Judaism. They were added as well. That would absolutely consume them, the violence that is. It destroyed the people. It killed the people, thousands. It burned their writings. It destroyed the knowledge, the thoughts that they had. So really the light of their knowledge was taken out of this world. It was destroyed in this world. It would no longer be known. And the darkness that was Christianity, Abrahamic religions would spread over the entire world because there would be nothing standing against it. Now, and right now, that beast is rampant. Its violence is rampant in this world. The wars, not so much the Christians, because they're sitting on their arse waiting for somebody to come and save them, but the other ones most definitely. And here again, there is a teaching, especially in Christianity, that is creating the outcome of them sitting there doing absolutely nothing. Yeah? And that is the teaching of Jesus. Yeah? Turn the other cheek. Yeah? They will persecute you for your beliefs. They will throw you in prison. They will torture you. They will behead you but you stand firm in your beliefs, and you do not fight back, and you go to the cross and you go on to death, because your reward will be in heaven. Yeah? And that is, again, creating, that thought is creating a person. And there are thousands in this world now that are doing nothing. Yeah? They're standing in the light of their knowledge or of their belief. Yeah, and I will take that on to death. And then my reward will be in heaven. But again, they're not going by their own knowing, most definitely not. And they're doing nothing about it. And that is the kind of person that teaching does create. Person that can just either sit there and look at the matters of this world and say, it's all love. Or say, we do nothing about it. We just stand in our belief and our reward will be in heaven. Either way, they're doing nothing. So what is it we should actually do? There's the question. Well, first of all, I really think we need to go back to some enlightened knowledge and to an enlightened perception of what it is we're in. Yeah? And I really think God is not love, or evil is not love. It's not all one thing. It's not emanating from the same place. Yeah? I really think the Gnostics had it right. Yeah? There is an underlying light of knowledge, and we're ignorant of it, and that is what creates violence. And especially in the Christians and the Abrahamic religions, because they are full on in ignorance, and they're calling it light and love. So the beast has taken on an image to himself that he is love. But he obviously, knowing him by its fruit, he obviously is not. So that's the first thing. Good and evil does exist. Do not deny the existence of evil. We are experiencing it with all our senses. It exists. Saying the source of that evil is ignorance, then we need to find enlightenment. And most of all, this reality is real. Yeah, please? It's real. It's not an illusion. We're not figments of each other's imagination. We exist. We are in this situation. Yeah? We need to deal with this situation. So really learning where we're at now. And again, at the moment, as we are in the internet, we are actually becoming the mystery schools again. We're reasonable people that speak to each other on the level of reason, trying to bring arguments, trying to bring understanding. So again, we are very much in this ivory tower that is the internet, whilst real life is going on around us, and the world is going to hell. Yeah, and then learning from the mistakes of history. And the mistake was really thinking that reason can win against that beast, and it obviously cannot. It never did. Yeah? You cannot reason with something that has no reason and that will not let any reason in. So then you're arguments are absolutely no defense. They are no weapon against what it is you're facing. It bounces itself off a concrete shell. So will your compassion. So will your love. Yeah, it won't work. This thing has rampaged through Europe, through the Americas, through Australia. It has destroyed everything on its way. Everything. It has destroyed everything in the name of the one truth that shall become the only enlightened truth in this world. And they're calling it love. I mean, that's the height of delusion. And it is really not the knowledge of the Creator. Absolutely not. But as I said, reason cannot work. History should teach us that, and we must not repeat that mistake, because we will be destroyed as all the others before us. So our truth is love. The Creator is love. That is truth. We know truth in this world. Yeah, it's not, we have to go out there to find love. It's in this world. The truth is in this world. It is our love for our families, our love for our children. People love animals, people love nature, people love this thing or that thing. That is truth. That is truth. That is the Creator in this world. The love that we feel for each other, for our children, for everything else, is the truth of the Creator in this world. And the beast is coming up to destroy that. Yeah? To destroy our bonds, to destroy our love, to the point where we don't love ourselves anymore, to the point where we despise this world, we despise ourselves. Again, it's destroying our truth from the inside out. But now those that are reawakening, and there is the reawakening to the knowledge of self, to the knowledge of our truth, of the divine spark within us, in all of us. God is not out there. God is in everything. Our love is the spark within us. But we're faced with destruction. We are faced with destruction. And although this way of reasoning should bring us to a point where we see our own truth and we see what we are up against, what do we do next? That is the question. What do we do next? What do we do about this? And here goes. We are being faced with madness. I mean, absolute madness. And if you were to meet a machete-wielding madman in the street, as many do at the moment, there's quite a few of them about, what do? Do you go up and hug him and give him your love? And say, Creator loves you. You just need to know that. And do you think that will work? In most of those situations these days, there will be a few, maybe, hopefully, a few brave men that will go there and physically restrain that man. And that is the only way, because neither reason nor love will be able to get through into that delusional state that the guy is in. And again, most of us, if we were to encounter that in the physical world, we would know that as truth. But here, out in theory land, love will do everything. Everything is love, in fact. Again, 3 pillars of knowing. And the physical world is very much one of the pillars. We'll go by that. such a man would need to be physically restrained for his own good and for the good of everybody else. See, not done out of hatred. See, that's the thing. Not the beast will kill out of hatred. It hates everything that is not like itself. Absolutely hates it and will destroy it. So we're not to act out of hate, but out of love. And in the defense of our truth. And I really think we're coming to a point where we must acknowledge, and I don't know, again, history has already told us that beast cannot be reasoned with. That beast cannot be reached in any way. We really need to start contemplating that there needs to be some sort of physical restraint. That we need to do something physical in order to, restrain evil. And again, there's maybe a better understanding of what love actually is. Because right now everybody's going, oh, it's lovey-dovey, it's giving, it's forgiveness, it's compassion. That's all love. But there is a saying that says, God gives and God taketh away. Restraint can be a part of love if it's done out of love. Yeah? You are performing a physical action that has probably got some amount of force in it. It will have to have some amount of force in it. And it may even hurt the one that you're restraining. But if it's done out of love in order to save, it is love. And forgiveness, yes. I mean, we should not hate them. Absolutely, we should not hate them. Because again, you look at the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and in all three of them, people that are in those religions have been indoctrinated into that thinking from birth. They were programmed from birth. They had absolutely no free will. In a way, they are victims of the beast themselves. Those that perform the violence are actually victims of the beast themselves. They absolutely are. So no, we should not hate them. We should forgive them? Yes, I think we should, because they do not know what they're doing. Absolutely. At the same time, forgiveness does not mean we're standing back and letting them do whatever they want to do. That is not it. Forgive them, yes, but we need to restrain them to save life in this world. And this is really the last thing, and that is, people say you should die for your, well, it's not, I said, you should die for your faith. Go unto death for your faith. You should live for it. We need to live for our truth. For the truth to remain in this world, we have to be here. The body is the vessel of God. It is the vessel for the Spirit. And it's only through the vessel that the Spirit will be in this world and can be known, can be spoken, can make itself known, where we make our truth known to each other. For the truth to be in this world, we need to physically be in this world, and then we have to live for the truth, not die for it. We have to live for it. We have to be the vessels that are in this world proclaiming the truth of love, true love, the true creator in this world. And then yes, we have to defend life. We have to defend the vessel. And as it stands, I think we really need to start thinking that this has to become physical in some way, shape or form. said not done out of hate, done out of love, but something physical will need to happen to restrain the madmen, because neither reason nor anything else will reach them in their bunker of insanity. Anyway, here folks, I leave it at that for today. And I talk to you again soon. Bye.